We stand today at the threshold of a great event, both in the life of the United Nations and in the life of mankind.
70 years ago at the United Nations, eminent figures joined together to create the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But over time, the world body has become a safe haven for brutal regimes. When dictators hijack UN bodies to cover up their abuses, UN Watch leads the fight to uphold the founders' dream. When the World Health Organization named the dictator of Zimbabwe a goodwill ambassador, it was UN Watch who broke the story.
Few understand how one of the world's most notorious dictators was appointed in the first place. Human rights group United Nations Watch believes there is more to the story and is calling for an independent international inquiry.
UN Watch's protest was quoted by 140 news agencies and sparked outrage worldwide.
It is absolutely unacceptable, absolutely inconceivable.
Within 3 days, UN Watch achieved its goal.
The World Health Organization says it will rescind its appointment of Zimbabwe President Robert Mugabe.
When the UN elects abusers to high positions, UN Watch gives a voice to their victims. While the UN embraces Saudi Arabia, electing the regime to its Human Rights Council, dissidents like Raif Badawi remain imprisoned. UN Watch gave Raif's wife the opportunity to speak directly to the Saudi ambassador. Thanks to UN Watch, her appeal was reported worldwide. In Venezuela, the Maduro government tramples human rights and causes mass hunger. Yet this regime, too, sits on the UN Human Rights Council. When their foreign minister went to the council to tell lies, UN Watch led the opposition, bringing relatives of political prisoners and high-level figures to tell the truth.
Soy la esposa del preso político John Goicoechea. Fue encerrado en una celda sin luz.
Thanks to UN Watch, Venezuela's victims were given a global voice. Last summer, Maduro's forces once again jailed Antonio Ledesma, grabbing him in the middle of the night. UN Watch brought his family to the United Nations to appeal for his freedom.
I am the proud daughter of a political prisoner in Venezuela.
Y hablo en nombre de United Nations Watch. ¿Por qué permiten que Venezuela siga siendo miembro de este consejo?
After more than 1,000 days of arbitrary detention, Mayor Ledesma escaped Venezuela and reunited with his family. UN Watch's annual Geneva summit turns a spotlight on the worst regimes before an audience of hundreds of activists, diplomats, journalists, and students.
I experienced symptoms of severe poisoning that left me with a multiple organ failure, in a coma, and on life support. It was certainly intended to kill.
I still have the burn marks from the acid the police used on civilians.
My pregnant wife and my 2 infant daughters were threatened with rape and death whilst I was in prison.
When I was put on the iron chair, it was horrible beyond a human being can imagine.
Thanks to UN Watch, these human rights heroes got their message out to the world. Dictatorships keep trying to silence UN Watch.
Point
of order, please. Point of order.
其并非 UN Watch 成员，终止该代表发言，进行恶毒攻击、造谣污蔑。
United Nations Watch, you are not entitled to question the qualifications of a national representative.
But UN Watch will never give up.
The regimes are bound to fail. Those who care more, those who are more committed, those who are willing to sacrifice will be not they, but we.
Arriba corazón, arriba Venezuela, viva la libertad, viva la democracia de nuestro país.
UN Watch, fighting to defend the true principles of human rights.